Thank you for staying with us. It's still Sports Tonight. This is the midweek edition of the show. As I told you earlier on, UEFA Champions League games are going on. 2 games are going on, and we are approaching halftime at both venues. Let me just quickly update you and tell you that the score lines have remained unchanged since the last time we checked. FC Porto and Juventus still grinding out a goalless draw in that one. And then, of course, Sevilla, courtesy of Pablo Sarabia's goal, are still leading Leicester City 1-0. Of course, Sevilla lost a penalty earlier on in the game, and so they've made it good. It's 1-0, and we're approaching halftime in that one. Guys, let's talk very quickly about the women's game. As we speak right now, in Abuja, the Nigeria Women Football League are having their congress, and that's where they will decide on a whole lot of issues for the women's league going into the next football season. It's important for them to take note of some of the issues that we've talked about for the men, because it is also affecting the women, and we need to let them know that, look, change must be now for the women's game, because for a lot of for so many seasons the league hasn't been what it used to be. And I believe that Aisha Falode, now who is going to be the head of the Women's League, has been in the forefront of a lot of positive things, and I hope she can bring it to bear on the Women's League in the new season. Yeah,
Tony, that's the expectation. You know, last week when we held the football committee meeting, you know, Aisha Falode, by virtue of being the
head of
the league, you know, was supposed to be part of it. She didn't come, and you know, participants felt that she. You know, that meeting would have afforded her an opportunity, you know, to table some of the issues, you know, yet unresolved, especially the clash between the head and, you know, the CEO, clearly spelled out in this new structure. You know, so it's hoped that their Congress will trash out a lot of issues.
What about issue of welfare players?
Very key.
That's,
very
for me,
key
that's the most important thing.
And everything, the bottom line is sponsorship. You know, you can't talk about welfare when there's no money. So that's why you have somebody like Nkechi Obidia, you know, a renowned marketer, to try and get, you know, some sponsors, private involvement in women's football.
They can make the effort,
so that these girls will be properly remunerated. You saw what is happening to Sunshine Queens. You can play, you know, dissipate energy. You train 2 times a day, travel around the country, and
if the men are going through what we just saw, we can imagine what the women are going through. And as we were saying, the women are supposed to be a lot more delicate. They're supposed to be a lot more delicate on the women than the guys. If the guys, we are the more prominent ones that people really go to watch. How many people watch women's game in the league? You don't see many people. If the men that people watch and know are going through this, you can imagine what the Sunshine Queens, all the other teams are going through. It's really, really tough, and the work that they have to do, the amount of work that they have to do is huge. Aisha Falode and our group is a huge amount of work they have to do.
Definitely, their responsibility majorly is to set up a framework for the league to function. You know, I used to remember the days of Pelican Stars and you know, Jegede Queens and all those things, but those days are far gone now. It's time for them to resuscitate it, and of course they have they have the example of what is happening to the men, so obviously they would have to devise ideas that will make sure that we don't have a repeat of it, of these incidents. You know, they have to be more thorough, you know, more calculative, make sure they make their projections right, make sure that whatever mistake the LMC is making now, that they don't end up making it. Put stopgard measures to ensure that, you know, these things are checkmated, you know, and then we don't have this kind of embarrassing
let's talk objectively now. What can be done for the women? Let's talk objectively. Let's talk about, I mean, the issues, the realities we have on the ground. What can be done for the women? We know what the struggles are. You know, what is the minimum that can be done for these girls? For me, I think if you have 5 teams that can take care of the girls, their travels, work with the 5 teams. Work with the 5 teams.
So all over the world, because I've had calls to talk to, you know, get information from some of our players in the national team, the Super Falcons, the ones in England, for instance. I mean, the structure that the men's team, for instance, like Liverpool men's team, is what they try to. You see them wear almost the same jersey, the same shirt sponsor. I think it's difficult to, you know, to really market women's football. But what can be done is that you have the LMC, the Nigeria Football Federation, as we are discussing, You can
the sponsorship for the men.
Yeah, for the men. You can
factor
also,
in the women.
You can factor into the women.
Don't leave the women on their own.
Yes, no matter how small the money is, it can go a long way. It can help these girls pay, their wages, take them for away games. We have had situations where, even the home team, we are walked over.
Which is why sometimes we can commend the LMC as well. What they did for the women last time, picked up some of the bills of the referees and all of that, so that the game can go on. But we need to do a lot more, really, in terms of getting them a lot of money. Let them make some money as well. Definitely. Let them make some money. That's why you saw the girls didn't let go when they had an opportunity to press for demands when they were in the Super Falcons. Because they know that's the only way this money can come. If they don't get their money, those who are in the national team, get it from there. And many of their friends also depend on them, just for handouts and a lot of other issues. So the women's game is very delicate, and I hope that we can give it the attention that it deserves. All right. Okay, guys, let's move very quickly now. And okay, let me update you. I'm told that I need to update you with the results of the games. We are now at halftime across those two centers. Okay, nothing has changed from those two games. Halftime, FC Porto and Juventus still 0-0 in that one. Sevilla 1-0 over Leicester City. Let's spend some time to talk about this one. Juventus and Porto former champions, Juventus former champions. This is crucial. It's difficult when you have a 0-0 score line. Anything can still happen. But for Sevilla against Leicester, Leicester will do well to try to get something on this one.
Well, I think for Leicester, while we try to, support our players, Wilfred Ndidi, who was rested over the weekend for this game, then Ahmed Musa. Well, the reality is that the team is not doing so well. They've been dismal, and I think it will take a miracle for them to get anything out of a Sevilla team that is quite formidable. A team that knows how to navigate their way through European club competition. You remember what they have done with the Europa League. So for Leicester, perhaps this might be the end of the road for them, judging by their form. Their recent form has been dismal. They crashed out of the FA Cup over the weekend. To Millwall, and it's not looking
90th minute goal.
Not looking good for them.
Disappointing way to crash out.
10-man Millwall.
A 10-man Millwall, yeah, very disappointing. Okay, let's move on. And this is an interesting message that has just come in now, and it has come in from Raymond Stars. It's an interesting one because we talked about the goalkeeper in that game against Lobby Stars, and the story is that goalkeeper Ndukwe has apologized to the fans. Chizoba Ndukwe has apologized to the fans for his goalkeeping errors in that game against the Lobby Stars of Makurdi. I hope we can allow you to see some of the goal he considered, particularly against Lobby Stars in that game. He spilled Kingsley Edowa's shot to the path of Antonio Potu. You saw it in that one, but he has apologized, and he says, I feel bad because something of this nature has never occurred in my career. I thought to myself to know what went wrong in the course of the game, but it's part of football. But I think there was almost a second one that would have also resulted in a goal, but his defenders were able to salvage that. But that's the trend that we're seeing now. People owing up to their mistakes, apologizing to the fans. These are things that we see in major leagues in Europe. Is a culture that is gradually coming into our game.
Definitely, it's good. It's good.
It's not as if we encourage
but apart from that, he should also work on his reflexes. I mean, he could easily have parried that ball without having to.
Or parry to. I mean, it's basic goalkeeping.
It's just goalkeeping 101. It's quite sad the way he did it. And at the time that he did it, Remo is in trouble now at the moment. They needed that victory badly, and they got a draw. And
but I like this goal. Well taken goal from their
almost
captain.
A free header.
And it's been very instrumental for Remo. If everybody
was, fourth goal
fourth goal of the season, nobody was playing like this, Remo won't be where they are at the moment.
Yeah, sometimes other players don't really step up their game.
Look at this error.
Back pass.
Yeah.
Straight to the
schoolboy error.
Opotu should have done better.
Yeah, a player of his caliber.
Chizoba Ndukwe was up to his task in that one.
Yeah. I think maybe we should spare the goalkeeper, but I also observed that he looks a bit fat.
Now look at this.
Maybe he needs
now look at this.
Totally.
His reflexes are poor.
He never got off the ground.
The goalkeeper,
he almost left off.
the goalkeeper trainer should help him.
Yeah, his reflexes need a lot of work.
Not just that, the poor decision. I mean, if you see a ball of that nature,
you push it to the side.
Exactly. You don't just parry it almost
into
to
the path of Tony Okpotu. And you know the guy is a poacher. He doesn't waste chances like that, all right? But he has apologized, and there was another one. Okay, that's it again.
He almost spilled it.
That's it again. Look at the distance and look at the goal. He just couldn't
and
get
it was
up.
a good save, if only he had parried it away. But he parried it straight into the path of the opponent.
Yeah. But for Lobby, since Coach was given a 3 months, how many months?
3 weeks.
3 weeks suspension.
Without pay, more importantly, without pay.
Is it without pay?
Part.
Is it without pay?
Yes, without pay.
Yeah, when you are suspended.
Because when you suspend somebody and the pay is still going on, it's like you're giving
no holiday in London.
It won't have maximum effect.
Yeah, if the pay is going on.
If the pay is going on, the man is enjoying himself. I think the point you are trying to make, Tony, is that Coach Evans again has turned the fortunes of the team around.
Yeah. I know they lost today.
Yeah, but they lost to Rangers.
Yeah, they lost, but they lost all the same. A loss is a loss.
The league holders, they drew against Remo Stars in Shagamu. Yeah. And I mean, you want to give it to Evans again. Yeah, he's assisting Owa, but on his own, a good coach on his own right. Because he has coached a lot of top clubs in this country. He has been to Ocean Boys. He has coached National United. And maybe the management is trying to see whether Evans Ogenyi can steady the ship and possibly...
And make up their minds.
Make up their minds. Maybe possibly tell Coach Godonwa to take a final walk.
Okay, let's go to Maya very quickly and talk about Abia Warriors, because that's another club that's also in the news for... what has happened to their former coach, Oke Emodi. A lot of reports were flying around on social media that Oke Emodi was assaulted after the loss to El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri. And there were also been reports of unrest amongst technical crew, lack of support, everybody working at cross purposes and all of that. But the management have come out today to deny what they call the insinuations in many quarters. That Oke Emodi was assaulted. I mean, it's important for them to come out with a clarification because that's the report has been going on. Yeah,
I mean, it's natural for the management to deny the reports. Nobody.
But are there proofs that Emodi was assaulted?
Tony,
some people say he was slapped by some officials, but it's a disgrace if that is what is.
He's an old man.
When you look at
how will you slap an old man?
I mean, Emodi has been in coaching, give or take, for almost 40 years, so he deserves some respect. If actually they assaulted him, but when you also look at it critically, the way and manner he resigned, I said it here that there could be some undertone. Before a coach will resign, you will be seeing you'll be reading his body language. He could be making some comments that he's not happy with the way things turned out. But this was too sudden. So I think the management should investigate if they want to be thorough. If actually he was assaulted, the culprit should be fished out and reprimanded. We don't want to hear such things. The MOD used to be CAF coach of the year.
Champions League winner.
Yeah,
you don't have too many of them in Nigeria.
He deserves some respect.
Coaches who have won the Champions League before. All right, and he has also coached your own basic goals at some point in his career. But it's really regrettable if these are the kind of things. And I expect also that the Coaches Association should be stepping out at this time. A coach draws a game at home, is suspended. A coach draws a game at home, is fired. These are not very encouraging signs.
No, they can't really do anything about sacking or suspending coaches, but assault.
No, but if you are suspending, assault, it's a very critical issue. But if you are suspending a coach without pay, I don't know how legally binding that would be for you to suspend a coach without pay because he doesn't get the result on the pitch.
It all depends on the contract.
That's what I'm saying. So the coaches should also,
if they are aware of contracts. If they were contract,
why would you get a coach involved with the club without a contract? Why would somebody want to? I mean,
that's why I said the coaches and the players should take that. If you are going to sign for 5 million, get a lawyer and pay him 200 or 300,000,
and get a
look at the terms.
Okay, look at the terms.
Yeah. All right. I'm told we have to go on a break. We'll continue this discussion, but we need to go on a break now. When we return, we'll continue this discussion, wrap it up, and read your comments as well on Twitter. Join us again.